Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business edition with a little bit of Sillyville thrown in to the end. And today we're going to do a couple little updates and then dive on into some interesting little discussions. First, PlayStation is partnering with Discord. Discord did say no to Microsoft, or Microsoft said no to Discord. One of them, either way, the Discord channel is safe for at least a little bit because the Microsoft will not be in the mix. And now, though, they are announcing a partnership with PlayStation. Some people are saying, oh, no, this is bad. Some people are saying, oh, okay, whatever. I don't really know one way or the other if this is good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know. We will just have to wait and see. But anyway, Discord is partnering up with PlayStation. So that is where we are going to be at. And Ajit Pai, we of course wanted to know where Shut Your Pie Hole went. We were saying, is he going to go back to Verizon? Well, no, he went back to the American Enterprise Institute, which is a lobby group funding ISP's success. So, yeah, is it any shock that that the turncoat went right on back to his old ways and supporting ISPs after, failing miserably at his one task of protecting citizens from the evil corporate ISPs? And so this is where Ajit Shut Your Pie Hole is now, and I'm going to go ahead and get that off the screen so nobody else wants to break their... Oh, I have another pie. No, that's right, because we have this whole block of ISPs or evil crap. So the biggest ISPs paid $8.5 million to fake FCC comments opposing net neutrality. Remember, guys, when the comments for net neutrality were out there and there were all of these comments coming through and people were like, these are garbage bot comments being used in other people's names? Well, the report is out now, and it does turn out that the ISPs stole a whole bunch of people's identity, paid $8.5 million, gave those to people to use those for spam comments to oppose net neutrality. I think that the ISPs should be held liable for identity theft, criminal identity theft on every ID that they theft. Everybody whose name was used inappropriately, that should be one count of felony identity theft. I think it'd be hilarious. Let's see what would happen. And, if companies want to have, we want our First Amendment rights. If you want to have First Amendment rights, fine. You get the responsibility that comes with it. This is the biggest sham in the way that the politics works with companies and constitutional effects. Okay. Way back a long time ago, corporations couldn't have constitutional rights because they weren't people. Somehow in the 70s or so, it so happened that they were added to have constitutional rights. The problem is they have zero responsibilities. The Constitution is a document that has rights with responsibilities. If you're going to give a company the rights under a constitution, they need to have this equal responsibility and accountability there too. Therefore, the higher ups, all of them, jointly and severally liable for one count of felony identity theft for every instance. Also, let's add one count of mail fraud, because every time you do something across state lines, it is an instant felony mail fraud charge. Okay, let's see some of these guys sit in jail for a while, and then they'll have to pay back all this millions of dollars. But the report is out, and this happened. Is this going to change anything? Probably not. I mean, hey, we realized the big mistake we made. Well, it's too late to do anything about it. So anyway... And New York requires broadband to have a $15 broadband for poor people, and then the ISPs come down. Probably constitutional. I didn't read this article quite thoroughly. So the lobby groups for Verizon, AT&T, and other ISPs asked the court to overturn the state law because we can't possibly provide good service for low money. That would be scandalous. I would have to give up a yacht. So the internet service providers today sued them to block the state law requires ISPs to sell $15 per month broadband plans to low-income households. Lawsuit filed by lobby groups, including all of these guys here. Let's see. Law seeks to regulate broadband rates. So let's kind of get into some of the ideas here. Now, should the government be involved in telling a company how much you have to sell a product for? No, they shouldn't. New York law is probably not a good law. I will agree to that, because I don't want the government coming down and telling the company what they can do with their products. But what we should do is enforce the monopoly laws, because once again, I'll say it, I have exactly one option for internet in, I don't know, what are we, the fourth? Somebody said recently the 5th largest city in my state. When I have exactly one option for internet, we have a monopoly, and this is why my internet rate doubled in cost in over 3 years. 3 years ago, I was paying $50 for internet. Now I'm paying $100 for internet. I cannot go with a cheaper plan because I will not be able to do my job. That is absolutely scandalous, and it happens because there's a monopoly. But if there were 5 ISPs in here all competing for customers, it would drop the prices back down, and I would probably, internet being mostly identical, I would probably just pay for whoever has the cheapest one, unless there was a serious quality difference somewhere. But that would actually make sense. So New York state law is stupid. I'll unfortunately think that the ISPs will probably win on this one, but nevertheless, it's just a giant mess all around. Well, a Netflix executive was convicted of receiving bribes and kickbacks from companies contracting with Netflix, and he was also forcing employees to use said services, even though most of them said they sucked. It's like the Amazon scam review. We will send you a new device. Give us 5-star review. And I was like, no. So there we have it. And this is going back for a while. So he will, I don't know if he'll be looking at actual jail time or just a fine, but this carries with it a few years in jail. But yeah, he is actually convicted. So yes, he is officially taking bribes. He's the CTO of Netflix. Isn't that frightening? Well, I've always said it. I had to include this article because I've always talked about this kind of stuff. People are like, the night shift on, it's softer on your eyes. And I kept on calling BS. Once again, Switch to Linux demonstrates being a prophet. Scientific research comes down and says, no, actually, night shift doesn't actually help you sleep any better. You might have a little placebo effect. Oh, it feels softer on the eyes. Guys, I got news for you. I stare at these computer screens until about 2 in the morning, and then I go right to bed and I go right to sleep. You want to know why people looking at screens have a hard time getting to sleep? Because they're looking at addictive things like social media. The dopamine is going. They're basically high on social media. It doesn't have anything to do with the white light in the screen. It has to do with the content, the stimulating content that's stirring up their mind and stirring up their thoughts and stirring up their brain chemicals. But if you're sitting here just doing work on your computer, all right, time to go to sleep, shut everything down, boom, lights are off, go right to sleep. Blue light has nothing to do with sleeping or not. I've been saying this for a long time, guys. I've been saying this for a long time. Blue light doesn't matter. What matters is the content you're looking at on the device. So feel free to watch something on your phone without that stupid night shift colors on it if you want. As long as you're not looking at social media or other dopamine-inducing things, addictive type stuff, if you got a porn addiction or something, you're going to have a hard time too. That's not the white light. It's not the white light. Okay, it's the dopamine. It's the addictive stuff going on in your head. All right, that's the stuff that causes it. But no, the night shift doesn't help anything. It doesn't help. And I've been saying this for a long time. Had to include that one. Well, Amazon drivers are instructed by their bosses to turn off the safety features and to basically drive recklessly in order to meet delivery quotas. Hey, John, you're a little behind and you're halfway through your shift. Turn off that monitoring software and put the pedal to the metal. You see a giant cargo van screaming at 55 down your residential neighborhood at 25, plowing over the drive 25, keep kids alive sign. You know it's the Amazon guy and his boss just told him to drive like a lunatic. So there we have it, guys. Amazon driver companies around the United States are encouraging reckless and dangerous driving by ordering delivery drivers to shut off the app called Mentor. I support the idea of shutting off the monitoring app, personally, that Amazon uses to monitor driver speed and give them safety score to prevent accidents. Drivers say they're being ordered to turn off the app by their bosses so they can speed through their delivery routes in order to hit Amazon's delivery targets. Well, this is interesting. I wonder if somebody's compiled the statistics to see if there's more crashes with Amazon delivery vehicles later in the day or earlier in the day. And then is there a correlation of when this is on and not on? That would be an interesting study to do. So anyway, that's the case. Very interesting. So, and there was another Amazon article about Amazon even forces their contractors to have a certain conduct on social media. It's like, no. Over there in Australia, the land down under, there is a Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. They are finally coming out and talking about things that I've talked about for a while. They're talking about the dominance of Apple and Google's app stores and the impact this has on competition and consumers. Now, I don't think that Google's app store should be applicable here. The reason is Google makes many ways possible to have other app stores. They make it possible to sideload apps. Apple does not. Apple does indeed stifle competition. You have to go through their store in order to be on an Apple device. And that in and of itself is a problematic thing. I'm not saying it should be easy to bypass it. I'm just saying it should be possible without hacking your device or breaching your device. It's my device. I paid over $1,000 for it at this point. I should have the right to add an app on it, whether you think it's good or not, whether it's been audited by you or not. I mean, for sure, is that going to cause some risk? Absolutely. But is it going to impact the average user? Absolutely not, because your average users, they don't even think that you could possibly install an app outside of the App Store. But nevertheless, over in Australia, they are talking about this, and it is an interesting read to see what they're talking about, whereas they're starting to believe that, yeah, the App Store model is actually stifling competition. So that's actually very interesting. And on to our feature article for the day. Allarco is a device that I got to remember exactly what this is. Okay, so Allarco claims that major retailers, including Staples and Best Buy, are selling and encouraging the use of privacy devices. So they are an entertainment channel, and I can't remember if they're doing movies or music or whatever they are. They have some entertainment content that you can subscribe to or whatever else. What they're doing is they are suing stores, retail stores, that sell boxes that can run Kodi. And they're trying to say that they are encouraging the sale of piracy devices. And the judge looked at all these and basically threw every little piece out and then yelled at Allarco here for what's going on. So, first and foremost, let's talk about Kodi for a second. For anybody that's out there like hearing this, Kodi is an amazing application. It is nothing more than a video transcoder and front-end frame to sort and organize media files. I use Kodi every day. It's actually one of the few apps I use every day. I have a few channels. I actually have my Kodi tied into BitChute, and the channels that I follow that are on BitChute, I use the Kodi app for that, so I can watch the content creators over on the alt tech platform through Kodi, which is infinitely more convenient than logging into the website and scouring through their individual things, because I just get literally a list of the most recent videos by all the people I subscribe to. Very good. So you get that. Now, because of that, the way it works as an open platform, is it possible to put piracy type stuff on it? Yes, it's possible. Of course it's possible. It's possible to put piracy stuff on anything. I could put a torrent client on a computer. Should I tell Best Buy that they're selling piracy devices because I can install BitTorrent on a computer? I mean, really? No. So the problem is that some of these companies don't realize this, and they're trying to stop and stifle everybody from doing anything but becoming their serfs. I got news for you. If you make your movie available on DVD, I'm going to buy it. I don't even know how to pirate a movie. Although there's some old movies that are no longer on DVD and nobody's making available anywhere I kind of want, but we'll leave that for another day. Nevertheless, they're coming in and saying, Allarco is coming in and saying that these stores are selling piracy devices and encouraging people to do it. No, it actually turns out that the company sent employees into these stores like Best Buy and tried to ask the store clerks can I get this and download illegal content? And the store, I don't know. Half, they said, most of them said, I don't even know what you're talking about. Many of them said, I don't think that's legal. A few were like, okay, if your friend did it, sure, why not? Here it is. And then many of them are like, I don't even know what you're talking about, you know? And so what the court found is that they are leading in sting operations. In other words, by leading, they're basically going in and trying to stir up controversy. They're saying that there's nothing on the device that can implicitly do piracy. These things might have Kodi installed, but there's no plugins or piracy sites attached to it. You'd have to do that individually. So basically, the judge threw the court case out and then told Allarco that you don't have anything here, so go away. So very neat. So yeah, according to a judge, a Kodi box is not a piracy box. And this is absolutely a win because Kodi is an excellent application and I support any form of device you can put it on. This is, guys, that is what I use. I don't have a smart TV. I attach a Kodi box on the back of my dumb TV. And there's a lot, like I could put some TV channels on it, some internet-based TV channels on it. I could put a lot of other features on it. I generally don't watch things like that, so whatever. But nevertheless, that is something you can do with it. Kodi is an excellent application, and there's some excellent builds you can do for Raspberry Pis, for example, and a few other things. So this is really good news, and you know, way to go, Judge. He actually saw through all this garbage. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have several affiliates. Today we are highlighting Linode, tlm.li/Linode. This is actually where I'm hosting all my clients' websites now because I can build custom servers. I can do a lot of neat things that you can't necessarily do with some of the other hosting companies out there. And if you use my affiliate link, you will get $100 in credit, good for 60 days. You can spin up as many Linodes as you want. You can test around with building a lot of your different stuff out there if you want. And frankly, you can have a lot of good times over here. Anything from Nextcloud instance to your own private VPN, all sorts of features, all available over on Linode, tlm.li/Linode. Well, let's go have a look at some Sillyville now. Well, first up in Sillyville, Impossible Foods clears a legal battle over an ingredient that makes meat bleed. It's a soy burger. It doesn't need to bleed. Like, why are you trying to develop meat that's not meat? Then they give us this thing. We don't even see meat on here, I don't think. I mean, we got a tomato. We got, I don't know. Close to the Impossible Foods Company product, Impossible Burger in Walnut Creek, California. So San Francisco Federal Appeals Court upheld a decision by the Food and Drug Administration to allow Impossible Foods to use the term heme, the additive the company says makes its products taste like meat. So basically they have this stuff that's called heme that basically, if I have my guess, is probably just some liquid iron supplement, you know, maybe like blood, to inject it in to make it bleed. I will take my cow, thank you. I will chop up that cow and I will enjoy a meat burger. I do not want to try your Impossible Burger. Genetically or not synthetically produced meats and stuff, guys, synthetically produced, like nothing that is synthetically produced is nearly as good for you as the natural components. But yeah, now there's this whole thing back and forth. We had a whole big court case, and now the Impossible Burger can include something that's causes fake meat to finally fake bleed. It's like when I saw vegan chicken broth once. If you want chicken broth, use chicken broth. My Lord. Well, the appeals court allows parents to sue Snap over a 100-mile-per-hour car crash. They allege that their children shouldn't be Darwin Awards, but that Snap was problematic because what they had is they had this filter that the filter allowed basically allows you to snap your current speed, whatever you are, based on the accelerometer of the phone. You could snap this over any individual picture. And the parents say, well, this encouraged the kids to drive over 100 miles an hour to take a picture driving over 100 miles an hour, and it caused them to crash into a tree. I will point you to this down here. Don't snap and drive. The disclaimer is right there on it. I don't think I have my mouse pointer highlighted on the screen there, but it's down there at the bottom, right above that blue arrow there. Don't snap and drive. Yeah, it should be fairly obvious to somebody in the car that driving multiple times over the speed limit is probably not an appropriate thing to do and tends to lead to car accidents. So, I don't know. I guess, though, if people can win a lawsuit for spilling hot coffee on them after ordering hot coffee and then putting it in their lap and taking the lid off, then I guess we can sue Snapchat for making a kid drive fast. Because Twitter updates offensive tweet warnings. So this is like an update to a story that came out this week. So this week they're like, hey, if you're going to post something that's offensive, well, first we're going to check your political party. As long as if you're in the red party, oh, you're just banned anyway. In the blue party, we'll say, do you want to do this? You know, but the idea, in all seriousness, now, if you are going to put in something with some offensive word of some form or another, it will give you a pop-up. Hey, this could be offensive. Do you really want to do it? Well, it actually turns out that some people do like to swear at each other. I'm not sure why, but hey, I've seen that in the wild, you know. Mentioned enough teenagers know sometimes teenagers will swear at each other for fun, you know. Why not? And so they realize that some people do indeed like to swear at their friends, so they're going to tweak They're going to tweak their tweet warnings. If you're trying to pass an offensive message to somebody that's a friend of yours, you'll be allowed to do that. It's just people you're not necessarily friends with that you will get the warnings. So there we have it. Twitter is going there. Want to review this before posting. We're asking people to review replies in potentially harmful and offensive language. This is a mean tweet. Tweet that features the word bleep and might need to be reviewed. Did we get this wrong? Your Twitter. Of course you got it wrong. But anyway, there we have it. And the last story here, if you are into this kind of stuff, you could put together some PVC pipes and make your own race cars and then race car drive, Daytona, USA with your friends. So here these guys are putting together their race car pieces, and we have a video, which I'm going to need to, let me mute desktop audio. And just until we get this guy muted here, I'm going to mute myself as well because there's probably copyrighted content over here. All right, there we are. We have muted it, so we'll go ahead and take that out. So over here, you put together your pipes, you attach some devices onto it, tie this on into the computer. So here's your gas and brake pedals. So you kind of put all that kind of stuff together. You get your steering wheel, and now you guys can race with your PVC pipe cars. Look at that. Do some competitions there. Quite intriguing. So I'm staring at this going, is this a good thing, a bad thing, a crazy thing? I don't know, but it's certainly silly. Here we are, some school settings. Go kids, go kids. We got the class. They're scooting up. You guys remember doing that, scooting up? Oh boy. What's this world coming to? You can build your own PVC race car and then use it to race in a video game. That's very interestingly epic, I gotta say. Definitely kind of cool. Well, you can help support the channel over on Patreon, patreon.com/TOMM. I have a couple different channels supported over there. You can jump on in over there and help support the channel that way. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.